Hey guys, it's Andrew John 100 here, and today I thought it would be a good time to discuss my thoughts on Forsaken AR. For those who don't know, Forsaken AR is a modded client version of FNaF AR Special Delivery, which was initially developed by Illumix. Its purpose was to continue where Illumix left off after they stopped updating the game in 2022 after FNaF Edition. What started as a basic mod gradually evolved into its own thing. Since then, Forsaken AR has become a worthy successor in a lot of people's eyes since FNaF AR shut down in 2024. Where do I stand on this? Well, that's what I'm here to talk about, of course, but before I do, I might as well discuss my thoughts on the original FNaF AR. For those who have been watching my channel, you would know that I have a pretty strong dislike for this game. I didn't dislike it when it first came out in 2019. Looking back on the game in its pre-downfall state, it was decent at best. It had some hiccups here and there, but it was still an enjoyable game that was to the point. Some say June 2020 was when the game started to flush down the toilet, while some say 2021. But whenever the case, this game fell off extremely hard. From the bugs gradually getting worse, the oversaturation of skins and lack of new characters, terrible management of the microtransactions, Illumix not listening to community feedback, and of course, the May update, which in my opinion ruins the whole game. The frustrating thing about FNaF AR is that it had potential, but the heads of Illumix kept shooting themselves in the foot again, and again. I could go on and on, but this video is about Forsaken AR, so I'll stop rambling and move on. So, how do I stand with Forsaken AR? Well, imagine an alternate universe where Illumix never abandoned the game, or better yet, continued to work on the game while not letting the fame and money get into their heads, and FNaF AR was still good. That's basically where Forsaken AR falls into. This game has a lot of stuff we've seen before, like the XP and leveling system, the gameplay, and of course the characters and skins from 2019 to 2021. But there are some tweaks, additions, and neat spins that make Forsaken AR, in my opinion, better than the original FNaF AR. To start things off, there's the gameplay. While elements from the May update are still present in this, they're not implemented in a way that ruins the game's experience for me. The leveling system is only necessary for maxing out your endo slots. It can still take a while to level up, but since the XP rate is higher than what it was before, the process of leveling up in this game is not so bad. The health bars have also taken a backseat, not only being limited to the scrap animatronics. Instead, any characters who had health bars previously are reverted back to the single shock and you win formula. This is a huge thumbs up in my book, since I always hated the health bars. They resulted in a tedious experience shocking the same animatronics with the same behavior patterns over and over again until you level up to somebody with a different mechanic. The older gameplay was better because it was simpler and straight to the point. That's what made it engaging. Having the health bars restricted to certain characters makes more sense and helps them feel more like boss levels. Granted, some like Cardi and Totem Panic might not feel warranted to feel like boss levels, but they're still fun to go up against, even though they don't use health bars. Another cool thing added to Forsaken AR is the ability to fight your own characters. This is something I think Illumix should have added from the start. It not only gives you more of a reason to collect the plush shoots and CPUs, but it also offers more replayability. If you don't have anybody to send your stuff to, or if you want to go up against your favorite animatronics again, then don't worry, just send your own animatronic. Speaking of characters, the roster here offers a lot of variety. You got characters who were meant to be in the game but never got implemented, such as Lefty, Scrap Baby, Endo02, and Funtime Foxy, but you even got obscure characters who I never imagined being implemented, like Trash in the Gang, 8-Bit Purple Guy, Mendo, Little Joe Magician Toy, Totem Panic of all things, and even Sparky, a character who was never an official character from the games. Unless you count the movie, of course. But as you can see, the character roster is nothing like what Illumix would have done. We even got some fanverse characters in this. Also, Forsaken AR is not afraid to get creative on how to lure these characters in. Take Nightmare BB for example. You can't purchase lures from the store. You instead have to acquire Plushtrap's plush suit, equip him with BB CPU, and then once you send him to yourself, that's when the fun begins. How the scrap animatronics are lured in is also pretty creative, I might say. The only way to lure the scrap animatronics and creation is to salvage them. When you do, their icons will be mysterious, so you'll never know who you'll be up against, which I think is pretty cool, and in character. When it comes to the skins of this game, I'd say a lot of them are pretty good. Sure, you got some pretty mid ones like Ferris Wheel Mangle, Celebrator Freddy, and Endo Plush, but you got some that feel like official skins made by Illumix, such as the Scream Punk, Mechanical Mangle, Infested Golden Freddy, and Geode Frostbear. There's also another set of skins called dev skins, which are pretty unique to their own, and how can I forget about Benny, even though he doesn't count as a dev skin. As for other positives, the soundtrack is amazing. You still have the old things from the map, the shop, the workshop, and the emails, but you also have some original music thrown here and there, and almost every character has their own unique ambient soundtrack. I also like how the boss encounters music remixes itself with every phase. It adds to the intensity. Even some characters who lacked ambient tracks like Funtime Freddy and Chica received their own for this game, both of which fit their personalities and on top of sounding really good. The shop's music also changes whenever a new event occurs to fit with the theming, like Dreadbear for example. I like it. Speaking of the shop, for obvious reasons, the microtransactions couldn't be sold for real money, so you have to use parts and fast coins to get the things you want. But hey, at least this gives parts more use, and it helps that fast coins are more accessible, but not to the point where it's too easy to grind for fast coins. You also have some really good voice acting too. You still have Freddy's AR voice and Toy Bonnie's annoying voice from before, but you have the Scrap animatronic and Funtime Foxy's voices that, while you can tell it's not the original voice actors playing them, the actors who filled in did a great job of recapturing the mannerisms and personality of these characters. Every other actor who played a character in this did a good job of what material was given to them too. With all this said though, Forsaken AR isn't without its flaws. Remnant still feels underutilized and I don't feel the need to collect it. It also doesn't seem to add much efficiency for salvaging. Another thing is that the game still has a habit of being buggy. It's not flat out broken, but you still get the occasional crashes and the game getting stuck on a loop after winning an encounter. But for the most part, Forsaken AR is still playable. One other thing I find a tad annoying is that the music in some places can make it hard to listen for static when trying to locate the animatronic's positions. I like the music, but players also need to focus on listening to sound cues to ensure their chance of survival. In conclusion, Forsaken AR is basically FNaF AR's special delivery if it wasn't ruined by a company corrupt by greed. The game respects its original simplistic gameplay and only elaborates itself when it calls for it. It adds to things that make you wonder why Illumix didn't add to begin with, it offers a lot of variety with its characters and skins, and I just find it more enjoyable to play than the original. If you were a fan of FNaF AR despite the crap it became after 2020 and are yearning for the days to play it again, then Forsaken AR is a worthy substitute.